We are all on the same page. Tell your neighbor we are on the same page. We are on the same page. And I love that you are here. All right, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I request we all stand. I request we all stand onto our feet. Do you still have the energy? Ask your neighbor, do you still have the energy? This is phase 3 and the final match between Wakwakwa Tomaniu. Someone told me Yamawa Maniu hawajiwezi na kwamba Arsenali ndio kingpin. So kwa Arsenali ni Maniu wa ni Arsenali. Ni Maniu wa ni Arsenali. Nani mkali? Nani mkali? Wapi nuru Arsenali? Wapi nuru Maniu? Ladies and gentlemen, we want to do a prayer song here together. And of course, the leader coming in, they will join us into the momentum. We are here to sing and chant because we love this country and we pray for the better of this country. So DJ wangu pale atanipatia kibao, atanipushia kibao Mungu Baba tunaomba. Mungu Baba tuomba by Rafton. Tumesema sio? So and again I want those young people, our volunteers in the morning, we can have a fresh team of volunteers to come on stage again. Kwa hapa chini wako wapi? Wapigie makofi jamani wanapokuja jukwani. We want this energy, we are doing it. Pigie makofi wa kwanza huyo. Ndio huyo sio? Amehepa, wapigie makofi. The great dancers, wewe ujifiche tu, but I'll tell you kuna zawadi baada ya hii show jioni. Wewe jifiche tu huko, utakujitokezea. Baadaye wakachukua milioni hapo usilaumu. Uone ilikuwa ya no. Jipigie makofi. The young people coming. Wapigie makofi. Keep on clapping, keep on clapping, keep on clapping. Amazing team of young people. This song is so inspirational. This song is talking to our hearts. This song reminds us to be patriotic. And of course, this is a national interreligious youth convention. The term is interreligious. And here we are praying together, reminding ourselves how we need to put prayers. Apart from being peace builders, of course, our Almighty, God Almighty is the giver and taker of all situations. All right? Are we agreeing on this? So, the gentlemen, our delegation is coming, of course, led by the Executive Director, Intelligence Council of Kenya. As they come in, I can see the chairman, also Intelligence Council of Kenya, among our delegation. Keep on clapping, keep on clapping, keep on clapping. An amazing team of leaders. It's the reason we are here today. Keep on clapping, ladies and gentlemen. Keep on clapping, keep on clapping. Karibuni sana viongozi. Welcome. We are honored to have your attendance today. We are honored young people. Keep on clapping, ladies and gentlemen. We want to feel. All right. Karibuni sana viongozi, wageni wetu. Tumewasubiri kinasema kwamba chelewa tuko tayari sio? Asante sana. So ladies and gentlemen, viongozi wetu karibuni sana. We are here about to join together and we request you also join us in this important session. We are doing what is called entertainment. We want to sing and dance together with one song that reminds us the importance of believing in God Almighty, the importance of believing in our wide place of this country. And this song, amazing song by Rafton, Mungu Baba Tuaomba. So we all sing together. If you can dance, you can dance. And here we have a representation of young people from the 13 counties that are represented in this important convention this year. So ladies and gentlemen, let us join together. Our DJ, please. Together we do this. All right. I want to see a wave there. If you can hear my voice, let us wave. right, thank you. We can sit. Tukae tafadhali. Just about now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to recognize the representation of the young people from all the counties represented here. Ladies and gentlemen, we want to clap and appreciate their presence in this important space today. And I will start, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together. Nikitaja kaunti yako tafadhali kijana, simama juu ya jukwaa, simama juu ya hewa uonekane tabasamu, sababu leo ni siku yako. Are we ready? Are we ready? We are starting with county 001 Mombasa. Wapi? This is for everyone to clap, appreciate this participation of young people. Sawa sawa? Are we ready? We keep on clapping. Tumeelewana? Mombasa county 001 wapi? Asante sana. Twende kule kaunti ya Kwale. Wapigeni makofi wako wapi? Thank you for participation. Tunakwenda kule mpaka Garissa. Wako wapi Garissa? Thank you. Tunakwenda kule ng'ambo ya pili. Watu wa Migori wako wapi jamani? All right. We go to Narok County. Narok. Jamani tuwapigieni makofi tuwapende. Asante sana. We go all the way to Bungoma County. Thank you Bungoma. We move all the way to Tharaka Nithi County. Wapigieni makofi. Thank you. We are now to this amazing county, the host county, Nairobi County. Some rigging here. How is from Nairobi? All right, we go all the way to Washington County. Asante sana Washington. We now move to Isiolo County. Thank you Isiolo. We go to Marsabit County. Thank you. And last but not least, we have two more. We have Baringo County. Thank you, Baringo. And lastly, and gentlemen, let us appreciate the presence of Wajir County. Wapigieni makofi. Distinguished guests today, ladies and gentlemen, we have a delegation here. Very important people, as we are important as young people in this nation. We are here for the national Interreligious Youth Convention 2022, and the hashtag is Youth Convention 2022. We are on Twitter, and just to tell everyone here, we are also live on Facebook and the official Facebook page, Interreligious Council of Kenya. Tafadhali ingia pale, like, share to your own personal account on Facebook so that young people around your counties can also follow this amazing event. Ladies and gentlemen, I now want to appreciate our guests here, our leaders, who have made it possible for us to be here together. And before I mention the leaders, distinguished guests we have here, I want to recognize the organizations that have made it possible. Of course, our host organization, organizer of this event, is the Religious Council of Kenya. Tupigie makofi tafadhali. Keep on clapping, keep on clapping. Thank you. We also want to appreciate the Embassy of Sweden here in Kenya. Tupigie makofi tafadhali. We as well want to appreciate UNDP Kenya, wapigieni makofi with amazing support. We also want to appreciate Diaconia Kenya, wapigieni makofi. Thank you. We also want to go and appreciate the Catholic Relief Services, wapigieni makofi. We also want to appreciate GISRA, wapigieni makofi tafadhali. We want to appreciate Ford Foundation, wapigieni makofi. And well again, we want to appreciate Mensen Mensi, wapigieni makofi tafadhali. Asante sana. We also want to appreciate other partners that have made this possible. The National Coalition Integration Commission, NCIC, wapigieni makofi. Asante sana. The National Steering Committee, NSC, pia wapigieni makofi jamani. We have the amazing Uyalo platform. Round of applause for Pigeni Makofi. And also, ladies and gentlemen, I want to appreciate Security Research and Information Center, SRIC, Pigeni Makofi. Aside. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want also to recognize the presence of our leadership today here. I want to start by recognizing the Country Director, Diakonia Kenya, Ms. Lucy Gidaiga. Pigeni makofi tafadhali. Please wave young people to appreciate strength of a woman on stage. Asante sana. We want to also appreciate the Chairman, Intelligence Council of Kenya, Reverend Father Joseph Mutie. Pigeni makofi tafadhali. Thank you, Father, for putting us your presence. We also want to appreciate the Secretary NSC, Mr. Peter Fuku. Pigeni makofi tafadhali. We also want to recognize and appreciate the presence of the Deputy Resident Representative of UNDP, Mr. Taye Amsalu. Pigeni makofi tafadhali. Ladies and gentlemen, we also want to appreciate the presence and honor the CEO, National Cohesion Integration Commission, Dr. Skita Ocharo. Pigeni makofi tafadhali. We also want to appreciate the presence and also the Executive Director, Intelligence Council of Kenya. Pigeni makofi kiongozi anapokuja jukwaani. We had an amazing opening remarks in the morning, and I wish if he could just do a bit of, brief on that amazing speech this morning, ili tuweze kuendelea kutoka hapo. Karibu sana kiongozi, karibu sana. Mpigieni makofi tafadhali.
Asante sana ndugu, imedhihirika hapa wazi. Mimi nimewahi kuwa na wewe kule Mombasa katika shughuli tofauti tofauti, na nilipoona jina lako iko kwenye program nilijua basi mambo tumepata time kidogo ya kufanya gym exercise kidogo hapa with the patriotic songs. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I greet you with salutations of peace and blessings of the Almighty God for enabling us all to be here today. I am, in the interest of time and out of utmost honor and respect for our guests who have taken time off other very critical things, I believe if it was not a youth event, a national youth event, probably they wouldn't all be here. They had to prioritize in order to be here. The essence of their presence here, because there are many callings, as you know now, on all of us. So I will not go into a speech really and repeat what I said earlier. But I want to say just a few things. First of all, I think you have all been acknowledged, and I would like also to just repeat the acknowledgement and to profoundly thank our guests who have come here sitting on this side of the aisle for taking time off their very busy schedules this morning to be here with us and to honor the invitation from you, the youth of Kenya. I thank our chief guest, who is going to be our key speaker today, Mr. Taye Amsalu, who is the UNDP resident deputy coordinator at the United Nations and a key partner. Mr. Amsalu, I want to say Ameseganano. That's Amharic for thank you. I guess, am I right?
Yeah, right.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
I would also like to thank everyone else who has come. Mr. Duku, who is from the National Secretariat for Peace Building and a key ally in the peace initiative that we are all desirous to continue to promote. We have peace, but we want to strengthen our peace. Mr. Dhuku, karibu sana na asante kwa kuja, kwa kufika hapa. All our guests will be speaking to you. Dr. Skita Ocharo, who is the Chief Executive Officer of the National Cohesion and Integration Commission, NCIC, also a key ally. You must have been seeing them trying to deal with bad behavior in terms of hate speech, and people who are trying to cause conflict. Wale wanajaribu kutuletea uhasama na kutukosea heshima miongoni mwetu. So I say, karibu. Lucy Githaiga is the country director, Diaconia, and a very important partner. And for IRCK, we cannot appreciate you enough, Madam Lucy. She's been there on. We have been very many partners of Diaconia, but Lucy has looked at the unique niche of the religious community. And you know, with resources and with the war in Ukraine and with many things that are happening, Brexit in Europe, resources are competing and, you know, downscale. And so many of our other partners within the CSA community were dropped off from the list. But we continue to be on the support list of Diaconia. We're not taking that for granted. Madam Lucy, we appreciate you. Also, Madam Josephine, Senior Program Officer at the Swedish Embassy. We appreciate you very much. Thank you for all the good work you're doing with us and support and partnership to develop and to progress the Kenyan society. Lastly but not least, and I deliberately kept him on the last because he's the host really, and that is Reverend Father Joseph Mutie, who is the chair of the IRCK, the Interreligious Council of Kenya. I just wonder, I'm trying to cope up with him, and very few times have I arrived at a venue before him. And so I count those. I say, today I have come, it's now 1, it's 2. By day and by night, I am always on call with him and doing consultations. Father, we can't thank you enough. So, bila kupoteza wakati, kwa taadhima na heshima kubwa kwa wageni wetu na kwa nyie mlio kongamana hapa leo, ningependa kuzungumzia kwa uchache sana. I want to speak very briefly for the benefit of our guests. The messages, the key messages, and why we're here will be, because this is your occasion as youth, and you know I'm still young, but not as young as you. So I won't be able to speak for you because there are generational gaps. So I want to avoid the missteps of the generational gap. Because even at home I'm told, Dad, you are my dad, you're not my friend. I say, well, we can also be friends and hang out together occasionally. This, ladies and gentlemen, is a culmination of 1 week of extensive activities by the youth of Kenya from across the counties, in the different counties, including those vulnerable counties, which are been on the spotlight in terms of hotspots of vulnerability, including Marsabit and Baringo and other places. And you wouldn't feel, because the youth energy and agility and their intentions to do good was really refreshing, and they will speak to these things today as we speak. So I'm not going to speak for them. So this is a culmination, and the key message that I get when I speak to the youth in this room and in the counties is we want to take up our future in our hands. We are in an important transition. This country belongs to us and future youth. Watu wengine, tafadhalini, mkuwe chonjo, manake hatutakubali mtuchezee na mkoroge maslahi yetu na mustakabali yetu. We will not allow anybody, we will take charge. We want to make chapter 6 alive on leadership and integrity. But above all, we want to send a message, strong message of peace. We reject violence. Tunasema uchaguzi bila noma. Now, in the faith community, we also have a slogan, and all the slogans are complementary, which is Amani kwa imani. Peace, faith in peace. We should have faith in everything that we do. So without, these are just the few remarks that I'd like to say. So let me start by inviting our first speaker here, who is the Reverend Elias Agola, who's going to take us through some overview of the booklet of electing leaders with value. That's critical. We don't want our resources to be plundered. We don't want to be mismanaged. That's the message from the youth. Elias, if you're here, I'd like to welcome you to the podium. Karibu.
Good morning. Salam alaikum. Praise the Lord. Amen. God is good. How are you? Bona muongei. Mkoaje? Thank you very much, Chairman IRCK, my good friend Father Mutie, and all protocol observed. I'm glad and happy to be here to speak to us on the book that we have prepared, which is being used during this time of the elections. We are at a critical time in the elections in this country. Be aware that this comes at a time which is 15 years after the infamous post-election violence that rendered many of us worried of the future of the country. And we are glad that we have moved step by step and are at where we are, preaching peace and talking about how we can engage without injuring one another. I'm happy to see youths and youthful leaders that are here. You can see Dr. Warare there. He's youthful. Can you stand and wave? He's not a youth, but youthful. And I can also see my classmate, Osido. Thank you very much. You are with him in class, and I realized he looks young, but he's not. So when we have an opportunity to be with you as young people, we just see the future of this country, and we see our people that are going to carry the mantle to the next generation and to be useful in future. We are happy to see some of you are already vying for positions of leadership in the country, in our churches, in our mosques, in the institutions around, and we just see a brighter future of this nation. At the same time, we see our people who are supposed to be champions for good governance, and the people who can sit down and say, we do not need to fight, we do not need to be part of the goons that are hired to disrupt people's activities, but we need to be a people that are able to look at issues and engage in discussions and not in arguments. Discussions prove what is right. Arguments prove who is right. So you may be right, but the issue is not right. And so when we come together like this, for a 2 days or more conferences. It's not a waste of time. It's not just a time out of what you do normally, but it is a time for you to think through and say, what am I going back with to my county? And what kind of a voice am I going to be? What tools are we going to use effectively between these not many days remaining before the elections? And how are we going to engage the leaders that have come out to vie for these positions? Are we going to engage them the same way others do, or are we going to engage them with a difference? And so I believe that this forum was there to make us, or to let us ensure that we are sharpened a bit and we go back to the society to make an impact. And that is what we need to come with from this place. We were tasked as theologians to write some book, and we had some technical team that also worked with us. We had this IRCK Secretariat. We also had representation from CAS, and at the same time we had theologians that were to review the religious scriptures that are used to drum support for the key messages that are in that book. And so we have a book which I would like to ask that it be projected. And when the book is being projected, there are people who have participated in that process, and I can see them here. So please, if you are here and you have participated in the process of coming up with this book, please be upstanding. I can see Rebecca there, I can see other people. Imelda, you are part of it. Yes, Father Mutie. We thank you very much, our CEO. The book looks like that. That's the cover page. Thank you, be seated. The book looks like that. That's the cover page. And throughout the book, we have summarized some portions of the Constitution in chapter 6 into 5 key values that are desired for every leader that is vying for the position. And therefore, maybe can you please widen it a bit, zoom it? Yeah, I'll also use mine here. Yes, so when you come to the desired values, we set out to summarize some of these values into a sentence that can be understood by many and that can capture many of these values, because they are not very few, and a way that you are able to use it very easily, even to disseminate the information that you require. And therefore, we also asked ourselves, how then do we communicate these values very quickly to people? Because sometimes it is very difficult for people to read, including all of us who are here. Not all of us are good readers. And therefore, whenever we were doing this book, we also thought of using the young talents that are around. And we used some young people to develop the cartoons that can speak to these issues very quickly. There is a Baba Mdogo, I don't know whether he's here. He is one of the youths who became very instrumental in coming up with the cartoons that can speak to some situations about that kind of a chapter. And so we When you check, I'm trying to scroll there so that we move together. Please widen that so that people can see it better. Thank you. Yes, so in this chapter 1, we were discussing the desired values. And some of these desired values are growing and working together, stewardship, and sharing and cooperation. But the very first one that we settled on is what we would call the value on sacrifice and contribution for the common good and desires. Sacrifice and contribution for the common good. When we were doing voter registration, there is this new vocabulary that came across. And the new vocabulary was that there is voter apathy among the young people. The young people say, why should we have to vote when the results of the elections is already predetermined? Why do we need to get involved when people have slogans like it is a two-horse what? Race. But this value calls on us to be involved and to sacrifice some of our egos and the way we look at things and decide to get involved. So when you possess this book, either in soft or in hard copy, please seek to read that. And the key message there is that all Kenyans are supposed to be patriots. And true patriotism is the evidence of a well-developed nation. True patriotism. When you say, I can die for my country, when you say, I can get involved to the last drop of my blood, then you are saying, you know the value of having a peaceful country. And so we backed this with scriptures from the Christian faith, from the Islamic faith, and even from the Hindu faith. Because this is interreligious. So we had to bring in scriptures from every major faith in this country. We did not go to Santraism or Sikhism, although Sikhs and the Hindus, they share the same scriptures. But we did not go to Baha'i, but we settled on the major faiths in this country. And we looked at these scriptures that can speak to every value. So here, for example, we have for Christians, are you in this room, Christians? Christians, away. Christians, praise the Lord. There is this, what they are. They would sacrifice for one another. And they would sacrifice for the comfort of one another. If I would quote, for example, from the Quran, there is this Quran, chapter 3, verse 103, that says, the Quran declares explicitly that unity should be applied for better results. And this is what it says. Waislamu, oi. Waislamu, salam alaikum. And hold fast, hold together the rope of Allah, and be not divided among yourselves, and remember you. And it continues. So whenever you hold this book, if you therefore we need to accommodate one another, we need to tolerate one another, and we need to be with one another. I will skip the other values and go to chapter number 2, which talks about the presidency. For every position, we came up with sections that talk to what is the role of that and what exactly is that position. What exactly is that position? When we come to chapter number 2, sorry, this is taking a bit there already. Chapter number 2, for example, the president. I'm sure you are scrolling with me and people will be able to see that. Just before that, chapter number 2, we are talking about the office of the citizen. And for the office of the citizen, we are asking ourselves, do citizens have an office? Do they have some of the things that are required of them? And what is that office? First and foremost, it is an office of a citizen. Number 2, it is a law-abiding person. That is what is expected of us, where we are not going to take rules and laws on our hands, but we'll be able to do things the right way, following the law. And so, our responsibility is to participate as a voter and ensure that we are part of the decisions that are made. When we look at the office of the president, for example, to unify all Kenyans, retire in peace and not be part of the campaigns, because the president is the unifying factor of the entire country. And we have also the offices of the MCA, member of the National Assembly, and the women rep, but at the same time, we have the heads of the divorce units in our country. And therefore, as you possess that book, just know that it is a book that you can use very easily to communicate the messages of peace and to be able to understand what every office is supposed to do. With that, I stop. Thank you.
Shukuru kiongozi Reverend Elias Agola kwa kazi mzuri ambayo mlifanya, and for that presentation, thank you very much. Now I want to invite, we're going to have a short video basically reverberating the message from the youth of Kenya. One of the messages is we want a Kenya that is better. Tunataka Kenya iliyo bora. But most importantly, tunataka Kenya iliyo na amani. You can't be bora without amani, can you? So Kenya bila noma, Kenya bila uhasama, Kenya ambaye ina uwiano kati ya watu wake wote. Kwa hivyo namwalika Caroline Maina ambaye ni senior program officer katika IRCK, atuwekeni video kidogo tu which summarizes what has been happening in the counties culminating in this national convention. So without wasting time, Caroline Maina and the video.
Issues of priority that we would like the government to intervene, among them being corruption, high taxation. Under high taxation, we also have high licensing, high cost of living, unemployment, lack of youth empowerment centers, drug and
Joseph Mutie ambaye ni mwenyekiti wa IRCK atuongoze katika ratiba hii ya umuhimu na kualika wale wageni wengine wakishamaliza kuongea nasi. Na vile ninavyojua mimi na Father Mutie hatubanduki hapa Kenya, tuko hapa. August 9 tutakuwa hapa na kuendelea mbele pia tuko hapa. Kenya ni yetu, sio? Asante, karibu Father. Karibu Father. Na kabla hujawaalika wageni, ukishamaliza kuongea na hawa wananchi waheshimiwa wetu, kuna manifesto yao inatakana ili wageni waelewe kuna nini kimejiri hizi siku. Nasalia hapa, alafu baadaye ndio tuwaalike wageni. Asante. Hebu na tupigie makofi. Good morning. Wanarika mpo? Wanarika mpo? Thank you so very much. Our chief guests from different institutions. In a short while, I'll be recognizing with the different institutions that you come from. Allow me to stand on the protocol that was established by the ED and appreciate these young men and women for this great work and effort that they have put in the few days, both at the county level and at this national convocation. And before I usher in the youth who are going to share with us that clarion call they have established in the few days that they have interacted, allow me to say here that youth are our tomorrow leaders. And that is why as IRCK we took the initiative to mobilize youth, especially the leadership of the youth across the country during this electioneering period, so that we may in a way help or work together as we understand the different roles that we play during elections and discard manipulations that may come by, just to aid one another in making the right decisions and participating. It is through active participation like this youth convention that young people are empowered to play their vital role, both to develop themselves intellectually, but also to engage on matters community development, helping one another to learn vital skills and develop knowledge on human rights, citizenship, and promote civic action. The involvement of youth in politics leads to local appointments, which is a broader than political appointment, because it can include service to the community and also youth. Leadership position are they that those roles can voice issues affecting other youths at the local level. We continue to give hope, and we must give hope even during challenging times. Just as our theologian, Reverend, guided us in the different scriptures. All the scriptures speak towards hope. Even in the Bible, the book of Matthew says, "Come to me, all ye that are heavily minded." And you go to the Quran, you go to the Gita, every other religious scripture invites us
are set to seek redress. We ask security forces to intensify security, especially in places with high risk of violence, but also embrace storied partnership with the community and religious leaders in those areas. As the chair, I'm just but giving the youth a brief on what we are engaged in at the leadership level, and we are urging that you play your part as the youth in this country. We are consulting also with you. You have your office, the Kenya Youth Network, and we are urging that you elect leaders with values. We are the moral custodians of our communities. As such, much highlights on qualities that our people need to look for before electing leaders is key at all levels. We can only progress as a country only if we elect leaders of integrity, leaders who are ready to serve. And then we are saying that we need to have a positive use of our pulpit, just as we said and we keep on saying, religious leaders, we continue to use our spaces to appeal to our followers to maintain peace and cohesiveness, and appeal that our places of worship should be kept sacred. Current situation and what needs to be done, we just are saying that Kenyans deserve protected as well as their property, and this is also an urgent need for cushioning. This need for urgent need for cushioning from the harsh economic situation we are facing. Before I invite our key guests to give us some thoughts and insights, allow me to request the youth to share that which they wanted to share. Kindly take the stage. Youth Manifesto.
Thank you very much, Father Mutil, our distinguished guests, esteemed religious leaders, women leaders, youth leaders, and all protocol observed. Good morning. On stage, I'd love to welcome Lorraine as well as Abdulaziz as representatives of the youth for the day, so that they can take us through our manifesto. Karibu sana Lorraine and Abdulaziz. As they come, maybe Janet, you can help project the second part of the video, which is around 1 minute.
I'm proud to be a part of the youth at work. During this conference, we discussed about the role of the youth in participating in democracy. We also brought up the issue of sober youth engagement. We need the sober youth on the table during decision making and otherwise. Be the change you want to see.
For the upcoming election, I would really like to encourage the youth to come out in large numbers. Let's discuss the matters that are affecting Kenyans, that are affecting us as youth in particular.
Before voting in any politician, consider the track record. The leader you vote in is a reflection of who you are. It is time for the youth to rise up. Look ahead, look at your future. Everything depends on you right now. Make sure that when you vote, vote wisely. Do not engage in violence. And make sure that the information that you're distributing to the public
morning. I'm Lorraine Katweni from Kwale County. I'll be taking you through the youth vision for 2022 general election and beyond. Interreligious Council of Kenya with other collaborating partners held Interfaith Youth Action Week in Nairobi, Mombasa, Kwale, Bungoma, Uasin Gishu, Marsabit, Isiolo, Tharaka Nithi, Baringo, Narok, Migori, and Garissa from 6th to 11th June 2022. The youth identified priority areas captured as consolidated as youth vision booklet highlighted their aspirations and expectations for the upcoming general election. Vision: a united, peaceful, and secure country where we the youth have all the opportunities we need to lead, empower, dignify, happy, health, and sustainable lives. The youth vision: the aspirations of religious youth from all the major faith communities is captured in this document for strategic engagement with political leaders and parties in the upcoming 2022 general election. As patriotic youth, we firmly believe in the inalienable rights of expression, inclusion, and participation by the majority population of 71%. Every youth in the national governance processes, regardless of their social standing, political affiliations, or religious beliefs as affirmed by the UN Resolution 2250 and our Constitution under Article 1, Chapter 2. This youth vision was informed by more than 2,000 youth voices across the country with the aim of promoting peaceful elections by choosing leaders with values. Problem statement: the youth challenges. Whereas Article 10 of the Constitution stipulates the national values and principles for effective leadership and governance for all public officers, the previous elected leaders in the 12th Parliament were marred with numerous corruption scandals, thievery, and lack of stewardship in debt and cost of living crisis. Similar to the previous elected leaders, our nation still lacks servant leadership to guide the people when there are numerous crises, both global and national, both in terms of health and economic issues. Citizens, especially youth who are the majority population and bear the bulk of the burden from poor leadership, are forced to bear an inordinate share of the burden through heavy taxes, lack of jobs, the denial of social economic rights such as health, water, and housing, and the absence of social protection. My partner will take you through the second chapter.
Good morning. My name is Abdiaziz Boru from Marsabit County. I will take you through the second phase of youth vision for 2022 general election and beyond. The first resolution is address mental health and drug abuse. We emphasize on the need to declare mental illness a national disaster and to provide social support, counseling, and care for the vulnerable youth. Insecurity and tribalism. We resolve to support security agencies in addressing security issues, promote peace and tolerance before, during, and after election. Economic empowerment. Our leaders urged the need to put place a conducive environment where business priority and employment of young people in their companies and favorable labor laws are enforced. Inclusion and gender equality. The youth need to be included in governance, leadership, vision setting, and decision making both at national and county level. They must be given opportunity to assume leadership position at all levels, both elective and appointive, to implement our resolution. Education. The youth are in need of truly free education, reduced tertiary costs, and market-oriented courses at universities and colleges. The need to promote talent and skills for the youth to be economically empowered, where sport and art are truly lively. Thank you.
I propose that this is the true representation of all what the youth discuss as to be their youth vision of 2022 and beyond.
And I second that this is a youth vision for 2022 general election and beyond. Thank you.
hands? Okay, then clap for yourselves. Thank you so very much for that very moving way of sharing the thoughts and the vision for the youth in this country. At this moment, allow me to take my time and introduce to us key personalities who are here, who are really true servants, who hearkened to our request to come and share with us the joy of having a youth united for a peaceful country, especially during these elections. And to lead in this, or to have on the stage our first speaker from the Sweden Embassy, allow me to introduce Mrs. Josephine Mwan, who is the program officer, Civil Society, Gender and Child Rights. A life in human rights space illustrates dedication to the principle of right to life, survival and development in advancing the child's physical, mental, spiritual, psychological and social development in a holistic manner. As you may have heard earlier, the Swedish Embassy has been our supporter or our supported religious fraternity, cordial relationship with the Embassy for quite some time. Without much ado, allow me to request Madam Josephine Mwan to come forward and share something.
Good morning.
decided to camp in Chinkororo. Chinkororo was another militia group. Tukaenda huko with the church, the Catholic Church. And we had a bit of transformation there, the Chinkororo militia. Then currently, tumeenda Baringo. I had one of the young people here talking about a bit from Baringo. In Baringo, if we have been watching the news, we know the kind of violence that is happening and the kind of conflict that is happening in Baringo and in the Rio Valley generally. And we are there, and we, again, with the church, this time we are working with the Christian Impact Mission there, and we are working to reform the warriors, the cat rustlers there. And we hope that we can all together work together with the religious leaders in doing this. What am I saying? I am saying that for the work that we have done in terms of promoting peace in this country, it has been very, very hinged on the role of the religious leaders. So I want to appreciate Father Mutie and colleagues in the religious fraternity. I know we have worked very, very closely. I was just reminding Father Mutie the other day, when we were just meeting to come with me, that in 2015, I am sure you were born, in 2015, if, for those of us who remember, court was in the streets agitating for the reform of IEBC. Do you remember those days? Father Mutie and colleagues in the religious leaders, together with ourselves and others, came together to do serious social diplomacy in this country, to support dialogue, and that was the beginning of the dialogue reference group that we're very, very proud of, with the religious leaders who come together from the KCCB, the Catholic Church, the NCCK, the IRCK, and others, to work together so that we can build cohesion and build integration. So we're very grateful for the work that the religious leaders play, and we continue. And I think currently the work that we're doing, we're very, very pleased with what is happening in young people and other places. I know that currently what the engagement is that we are, the religious leaders and others, organizations that we work with, we are engaging different constituencies, and I am happy that today and the past week we've engaging the young people in this country. And very, very pleased to hear the ideas and the manifesto that you have, and I hope that this manifesto does not stop here. It goes to the ones who will implement. Those are the fellows who are, asking for our votes. Earlier, I think there was a colleague who came here and talked about the booklet, which has the values that we are looking for. This morning, I was doing my reading in a book called, it's a book titled Impressions. And one of the things that he said was that you have the what, you have the why, and you have the how. Now you may know what it is that you want to do. You may know that you want to do all the things that you want to do. And our politicians are good. They are coming all over the place telling us what they will do. They might know the why they want to do it because they say they love Kenya. But I think the how, and when it comes to the how, at least from the conversation in that book, it was talking about the values. Because it is impossible to achieve the why without the how. And I think the how is, that is why we probably have had a lot of challenges in our country. Because our how, in terms of the values, we have a bit of work to do. And I'm happy that the booklet that I think was spoken about here is calling us to be very, very specific, conscious about who it is that we are electing, who it is that we're putting in the
Mwambie tu akujie.
When you finish from first grade, you those days going to the university was a big deal. We only had 4 universities in this country. University of Nairobi, Kenyatta University, Moi University, Kenyatta University, Bas. JKUAT was a college those days. Now you know how old I am. So during the elections and during the voting, we went to vote, and because we were among the bright girls and young men in the village, of course we were given a little bit of work to do, and we did the work. But then, of course, because we were a young person, you would attack that after everything is done. And I really hope that, I really trust and hope that we shall have a peaceful election. And with Dr. Skita here and colleagues at NCIC, tafadhalini nyinyi muangalie hii mambo ndio tukue na peace, you know, na tukue na hii kitu inaitwa cohesion. But I think if observers, for us who have been here for several elections, if you look at the evolution of how things have happened in this country, I think this election is a special one. In the sense that in the past, we were very, very, very focused on ethnic mobilization. At least in this election, we can say there is a tendency to move towards issues. I think economy is a big conversation that we are having, which is a good thing. I think we have moved, and all sides that are speaking, at least, we are not necessarily too focused on ethnic mobilization, which is a great thing. I think if we can remain on the realm of the issues, it will be a good thing for our country. So yes, we want to wish you the very best. I think we have had your issues, and I want to say that I think one of the things that you mentioned as part of your big concerns, I think it was number 3, hiyo kitu ya economic, sema ni number 2, 3, haikushini. Anyway, but it is one of the issues, the economic challenge that we have as a country, and that is something that we recognize and we acknowledge even as Diakonia. We are currently working with young people, with university students and college students, to try and support an entrepreneurship, an entrepreneurial mindset, and help them to start saving so that they can begin their enterprises as and when they leave the college and universities. So we are happy to work with you, and IRCK, thank you so much. We really appreciate the work that you do. Our supporters, the embassy, our collaborators, UNDP, NCIC, and others, asanteni sana. And with those few remarks, mimi nimewaambia tafadhalini hakuna kudance. Hiyo music izimo 9th of August. Sawa? Asanteni. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, Madam Lucy. I think you will need to come back and tell us more about what happened after you said you went to secure the votes. Because I know there must have been another kind of music around that went on. Very inspiring. The impression, I think already these youth have Googled. They know the book already, they know the author. These are digital team. They know actually what you are reading. The how, the what, and the why. Very important. May we clap for her again. I appreciate, allow me to take this moment to appreciate those partners that have worked with us. It has not been easy as IRCK. Sometimes we